Well, hello friends, how are you today? This is Sharon. I'm here from the blog I Restore Stuff, but we're right here on Essential Stencils page as well as my I Restore Stuff page. So if you are watching from my I Restore Stuff page, you may not see the comments. If you want to jump over onto the Essential Stencil page, we'll be giving away prizes right at the end of our live, but only on the Essential Stencil page. So if you're watching the replay, comment the word replay and you have another chance of winning prizes. But we are continuing on with our stencil and bling crafting challenge this week. So I'm excited to do some more projects with you. Hi Kay, and Tony's here, Deb's here. Let us know if you're brand new to either Essential Stencils or Totally Dazzled. So we've done a collaboration with Essential Stencil, Totally Dazzled, and we're doing a challenge with right up until the 8th of May. You've got until you can post your entries, tag them with the hashtag TDES challenge. So here's the hashtag, but this is a code that you can use to save 25% on both companies. So Essential Stencils and your Totally Dazzled product, you can save 25% by using TDES25. And I would love it if you can use my links that are right here in the post as we are live. You'll see them pop up in the pinned comments, but also they're in the description of our live. So if you click on the description, I would love it if you clicked on those links, and that way as an ambassador, I can get some little bonuses for you doing that. So I would really appreciate that. And you have until the 8th of May to enter the challenge. So make sure your post is public. If you're posting your combined stencil and dazzled projects, make sure that you use the hashtag TDES challenge, this one here, so that they can find your project. And then there is a process. There'll be winners picked, and there's prizes, a shopping spree, not one, but two, 3 shopping sprees. Let me just have a look on the screen behind us. Hello, how are you? Good evening. Ruth is here. So on the screen behind me, I've just pulled up the challenge, which you've got a link for that right there in the description of your live too, to see what the challenge is all about. So it goes to the 8th of May. We have got... you can get featured, so the chance for your page, if you've got a business page, that you could be featured on one of these. We've got some examples there. You've got the 25% off, which I've told you what the code is for that. So you create your piece, take a photo, use the hashtag and post it on both Instagram or Facebook, and then you can win a shopping spree. Look at this, guys. First prize, $200 shopping spree. Second prize, $100 shopping spree. And third prize, $50 shopping spree. And so that is for Essential Stencil and Totally Dazzled. All the details are right there on the link. And then, of course, we've got some frequently asked questions. So probably if you've got a question about the challenge, it's been answered in there. So anyway, thought I would get onto our project here. Hi, Patty. Hi, Mitzi's here. So let me know if you've started your piece for the challenge. I'm just going to have a look on my laptop here now for our Facebook Live so I can see comments there as well. Gloria's here, Melissa, Rhonda's always here. Hi Rhonda. I love it that there's so many regulars that show up, but I know that we've got some people from Totally Dazzled probably watching us today too. Can you see a sneak peek of what I might be using today? I'm going to do Mother's Day and Patriotic today. 2 projects. I did have 3 lined up, but I always go, just in case we've got time, but sometimes we run out. So, hey friends, let me know if you have entered the challenge already, or maybe you've received your products, you just haven't quite got to the project. Let me know in the comments where you're up to on your challenge pieces. So let's see over here. Rhonda says she's working on craft show. As soon as you can get that done, you're going to be working on your challenge. Well, we've got till May the 8th to enter your pieces in the challenge. I've got a craft show this weekend. Well, it's a market that's in our local neighborhood, and I haven't done markets for a long time, so I'm busy creating signs. Now, if you followed my page or my Instagram, you might have seen on stories, I had signboards all over the place. I'm rolling paint backgrounds, and I've now got to stencil them. I've even created frames for some, so it's a whole big process. So shout out to those of you who do markets on the regular, because it's a lot to get a whole bunch of inventory ready. Essential Stencil has popped the link right there. 5 days left to save 25% with your code TDES25. using my links that are right there that you can click on. That would be amazing. Right, one of the sets I'm going to be using today is a Mother's Day themed set, and it's simply called Mum. Now in Australia we spell it M-U-M, so I always struggle with doing stencils that have M-O-M. I did change it one time, remember, if there's those of you who might have seen that one. So Mum, so this one has 3 stencils in it. It's a 3-pack set. These are the minis. And I'm going to be doing it on this little wooden house. Now these did come from Essential Stencil, but they are out of stock of these at the moment. So, but if there is a little button on there that you can say, hey, I'm waiting for this one, let me know when it's back in stock, then I would suggest clicking on that so that you can get them. I had 3, and I already did this project on another live where I stained them and I created these fun backgrounds. So I'm going to be using the back of one of these. I did think of actually using this as the background and stenciling over the top, but I felt like it was too busy. So I'm just going to go to the back of this and create a Mother's Day craft stencil and add some bling using some of the Totally Dazzled bling that I've got. So for today, we've got this 3-pack set and it's called Mum. We've got this gorgeous heart with Mum on it. We've got home is wherever Mom is, and because of course, this has got to be the one that I use, right? Because it's house shaped. So that's the one I'm going to use today on this live. Then we've got the 3rd one is Most Loved Mother. So there you go. And I like this little heart flourish at the bottom. So I'm going to show you how we can use that. The other thing I want to do is Patriotic stencils on a box. So this is a box that I picked up. You can see a little bit of white. I've actually done some whitewashing on one of the sides to just kind of test out what I'm doing here this morning. But this is just a very light, I don't even know what kind of wood that is. Seems like it might be balsa wood, but it's very light wood. Just picked it up from one of those dollar stores, and you've probably got similar things in your craft stores. I do have an Amazon supply list that I can send you a link for if you're interested in that, of a whole bunch of things that I use for when I'm stenciling and doing signs, from glue guns to, you know, all sorts of things. So if you're interested in that, I can send you the link. But we're going to be using some of these Patriotic signs stencils, as well as some of the Patriotic bling from Totally Dazzled. So look at this. I don't know if you can see this here. We've got, let me see, I want to be able to see my, there we go, comments. We've got some gorgeous Patriotic flags, blings, and I think it is called, let's see if it's on here. Yes, the Patriotic pack. You can just simply go to Totally Dazzled and type in Patriotic in the search bar. That's what I do if I want to find something. But there's a little eagle with the flag. There's like 3D, there's flat ones and then 3D kind of, that flag's got a furl in it. Do you call that a furl? A fold, some folds in it. Looks beautiful. And this star is a little bit 3D as well. So it's got some dazzly bling on there. Little rhinestones, a heart, USA. There are another couple. Look, I've got silver version as well. So you can get that in silver, gold and antique bronze, I believe. All there at the links. Ella, you got your order today. That's amazing. I love it. Can't wait to see what you all are working on. So I'll have to look up that hashtag. Don't forget to use the hashtag TDES challenge. That's the hashtag you need to put with your post so that we can find your pieces. So then when I go to Facebook and I go to the Facebook's general search bar and I type in that hashtag, it'll bring me up every post that anyone's done for the challenge. So maybe you might like to look up the hashtag and see what people have started to work on already, to see what the competition is out there, what you're up against. There's some creative people out there doing a lot of fun things. All right, so let's get started with the Mother's Day one. Now with my Mother's Day set, I'm going to add from this Totally Dazzled key collection. This is the rose gold keys, and they come in some beautiful different shapes and sizes, from this really large one with lots of little rhinestones in it to this little small key. Some have pearls in it, some are just totally beautiful metallic, shimmery metallic. So that is gorgeous. But let's get started on our Mother's Day sign. Joyce is asking, if they have a sale on Bling, can you also use the 25% off also? I'm not sure, Joyce, but you know what I do is I just literally put the code in at the checkout and that will show you, it'll show you whether that will come off the sale price as well. So, oh, another thing I wanted to add, so let's do this. I'll add this to the base of I've just stained this wooden block. So it was just that raw blonde pine. And then I've stained it using some kind of wash probably and sealed it. So but it's a water-based sealer and stain. So I can still stencil over the top of that. If it was a wax or if it was an oil-based stain, it would be a little bit more resistant to any paint going on top of that in the form of a stencil or transfers or whatever. But because it's water-based, it's a matte finish, and so it's good to go. I am going to, oh, Michelle says she's anxiously awaiting her stencils. Ah. I'm going to point this down so that we can see a little bit better on what we're working on. So here is my stencil. Now, I'm not sure, maybe you guys can help me. Because we've got the roof line here, and the roof line for the stencil is a little bit different, but can you see that? I was tossing over whether I should leave the roof on there or take it off. What do you think? Should I leave the roof on there or take it off because I'm doing it on this? I mean, this would also look gorgeous on just a simple little square sign. So then you would probably leave the roof on, but I'm wondering if I should just tape it off because it's kind of different. Imagine it with it not there, and then we'd still see. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Should I leave the roof on or roof off? And yes, my accent is from Australia, if you're wondering. If I did leave it on, I've got to move it right down the bottom there. Let's see, take it off. Someone says take the roof off. Kathy says off. Take it off. Yeah, I think that's the go. I'm going to actually use some painter's tape. So if there's any sections of stencils you might want to tape over because you're not just going to use, you're not going to be using it for this particular. Oh, I've got some. I just got a notification that my internet might be the connection might be a bit laggy. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on that. And if I see it again, I'll just switch it over to my phone internet. Yes, so you get 25% off with that code TDES25. So I'm going to tape off the roof because most of you are saying tape it off. And then Linda says stencil it so we can see. So if you did the roof, it would still look great, but I think it would look better on a square sign. But because I'm doing it on this shaped sign, I think it's a different angle. It kind of comes off here and off here, and it kind of hits off there unless I move it right down, and the words would be sort of almost squished to the bottom. So we've made the decision. That's what we're going to do. So then I can put it around about there, and I've still got the heart, but I want to add a little key from Totally Dazzled. Isn't that gorgeous? The paint all over my fingers. That's the painter's life, y'all. I think I might still leave the heart on there and then add that key right over the heart. We'll see how it looks. You can always sand it off and start again, but you know, you don't want to do that if you don't have to. But I think the heart, actually, I think I'm going to leave the heart and move it up further. That's what I'm going to do. Decision made. See, because we're doing this on the fly, we're winging it, and I'm going to have to hold that tight, or I could add a bit of tape right to the end here. So if I do that, I can fold it over the edge of the block so that it's right on the edge. Okay. Oh, what I was going to do before I start that, I was going to use this pearl, which is from Fusion Mineral Paint. It's their metallic pearl. You could add, the key is rose gold, so I just felt like we needed to bling up even the board. I'm going to use, what am I going to use? I might even just use I'll just use this little brush here. Just use a round brush. I'll just use what's in the lid. But I'm going to dab that pearl paint, and it will be quite translucent. It's not going to be solid unless I, use lots of paint and lots of coats. But I want to sort of dry brush that on. This is all experimenting, guys. I love to experiment with you. All right. And I'm going to just drag it up along the board here. So it's like a dry brushed effect, but it's pearl, so it's a bit shimmery, which, sometimes these metallics, they don't turn out like shimmery looking when it's on video camera, but I don't know if you can see that light there. I do need to turn the light on above me here, so oops, I don't know if that made a little bit of a difference. You're still there. There we go. So yeah, you can see the difference. I've just dry brushed a bit of that. I'm going to do that again as well in a minute for something else that I've got going, the second project. If you've just joined me, I'm going to do 2 projects today. I did sort of line up 3, but I don't know that I'll get time to do them all. And just going to drag that along. It's called a dry brushing. So the brush is fairly dry with product. So you can always add a little bit more if you feel like you need more. Because currently I feel like it's a little bit, this side's a bit heavier than this side. So I just add a bit more weight or pressure to the brush as we go down. And it is quite metallic, so it looks like just this whitewashy dry brush, but because it's pearl, and I do have an affiliate link for Fusion Mineral Paint. If you want that, I can just make a comment, I can add that in. So I'll see if I can hold it with the light there. It's got this quite a shimmer to it. It's pearl metallic. Okay. I feel like I could do these edges as well if I wanted to. So that's sort of, it hits the high points of the grain when you're dry brushing, and so it'll also hit those edges. This is the back that I did on another project, and so, you know, some of these things you can use for 2 different purposes. You could have it Mother's Day, and then you could turn it red for another season, Valentine's, Christmas, whatever you like. So I'm just going to go around the edges there with that dry brush, adding a bit more. Okay, so now that that's done, and that will dry super quickly, like it's pretty much touch dry for me to use that right now. I'll pop that aside and put that in a bit of a wet cloth in case I need to use that again for something else. Let's see, I like the shine too, Patsy. Carol says really like the shimmer. Yeah, so yeah, it does, it looks great. Okay, so now we've got our stencil that I'm about to pop on here, so I'll just put that down again in the center. I've taped off, it does have a little roof line here, but it's different, so we decided to tape that off for now. And I will also leave the heart. I'm just going to pop a little thing over it, and I might move that up a bit because I want my key, here's my key, I want it to hang down, but it'll be better hanging down from here. So, got that ready. Now I just need some white paint. I'm going to use Fusion Mineral Paint's colour casement, and I needed some cardstock so that I can offload, because offloading is one of the most important tips that you can. This is my stencil of the month, packaging. I always keep my packaging and then tear off a bit of I usually have scissors to cut it off, but I've got to get that ready today. So we're just using some cardstock. You could use a paper towel. I do have some paper down here as well. I could have used that. So I'm using one of the Essential Stencil brushes. Now, if you're new to Essential Stencil, they come in a set of 4 and great value. Some people often get 2 or 3 packs because if you're using a certain size and you want to do several colours for different stencils, it's better to have a clean dry brush rather than a wet one. So if you're doing a lot of stenciling all at once, it's a good idea to grab a couple. So just toss one in your order when you're ordering. Yes, hi Jennifer, good evening to you. Yes, it is morning here in Australia. It is 10 o'clock-ish, well 20 past 10 now. So I'm using the Fusion's colour casement, which is one of their whiter whites, and I could use a darker colour. Could use any colour you want, really, couldn't you? You could use a pink for Mother's Day. I don't know, what's your mum's favourite colour? You could use that. Could fit in with her decor or something like that. These are great for a tiered tray idea. Okay. My brush that I'm using is the 5/8 inch brush. I'm just going to dip a little bit of the casement white in the paint, but I don't want that much So I wipe off the excess on the edge of the pot. Just picked up a little bit of fluff. There we go. And then I'm going to, you can't see this, but it's paint being, because it's white on white, I'm offloading the paint, most of the paint from the brush, so it kind of looks dry. So we use a dry brush method to be able to swirl on the stencil. And then I do this swirling method, and I realise I'm doing sort of white over that light pearl finish shimmer, but I think it will definitely stand out. So right now I've just sort of run out of paint. So you can see I tried to go over the M there in home, but it's filled in the first two letters but not the next one. And you might think, well, why didn't you just put more paint on your brush? Well, that is because if you're putting too much paint on your brush, these first letters, you would risk that paint just bleeding all underneath the stencil. So that's why we need to offload it. It's better to add more on later rather than have fuzzy edges on your stencils and what we call bleed underneath the stencil. The paint's kind of bleeding under, so we don't want that. So now we just go on with a little bit more. I can get a bit more that I had offloaded on there. And I'm just going to have a look and see if that's standing out against the, yeah, I think it will be great. Standing out enough. So we add a bit more. So see how we're just adding a little bit more each time to the brush rather than try and put too much on the brush. Yes, someone just asked, did the wood house come from Essential Stencil? Yes, it did. They're currently out of stock, but if you do go to any of their wood products and see something that you like, I believe there's some kind of a button there that you can say, let me know when there's more in stock, and they will put you on their list to get that. So. All right, there, I've done that word. I feel like it's not enough on the brush again, so we just re-dip it back in. And away we go. And so I can do this swirling. You could do the pouncing thing if you like, but I feel like it gives it a lot better coverage when you do this swirling. It feels like, to me, it goes a lot quicker, a little bit less hand fatigue, if you like. And there we go, we've done that. And I'll just lift this off now, pull that off. And you can see we've got some nice crisp lines happening there. Home is wherever Mum is. Wouldn't that look good on a little tiered tray or something? I think that'll be cute. So now I want to add that little heart that was at the top of the stencil, and I covered it over temporarily because I wanted to add it higher up. See, I feel like it needs to fit up here. The little key, I could use a larger one now because I see how it's, maybe the smaller one's just as cute. So I'll add the heart up a bit higher so that the key hangs down, because it's got a little heart at the top. Can you see that? Sort of a heart shape. They've even got, so if you wanted to use these on jewellery, you could too. The bling from Totally Dazzled can be used for so many different things. And if you've been a part of their group, on Facebook group, you'll be able to see a lot, or even just look up their page. There's so many different examples, but isn't that gorgeous? It's got some little diamante rhinestones in there, and it's a heart shape on the top of the key. So I'll just get a little bit more paint on my brush to fill in the heart. Yeah, Janet's saying the brushes are really comfortable in your hand too. You've got the beginning of arthritis in both thumbs and getting injections is fine. Oh, Janet, yes, praying for you. Yeah, that can be a struggle. So these are really good, the brushes, for just ease of use. You just hold them straight up and down, just do a little swirl over the top of there. I feel like I didn't get enough paint on my brush. I'll just add a bit more. And round we go. There we go. We've got our heart on there. So there's the heart at the top. So I just like the idea of the key and the house, you know, door key, Mum, the key to my heart, I don't know, all the things. All right, I'm just popping this white stencil brush in some wet cloth because I may have to use white for something else in a minute for my next project, so I don't want it to dry out. So putting it in a wet cloth or a plastic bag is a good way of keeping that. All right, so here, for anyone who missed earlier, here is the roof part of the house of the stencil, but it just lined up a little bit differently than this roof line here, and it would have sort of come off the edges. So I took that off, taped it off, and I've got that there. But the roof would be great if it was on a little square signboard or something similar. All right, so now last week, I don't know who missed my live. If you saw my live last week, you would have seen that I demonstrated how to use the Totally Dazzled's amazing ultimate, what do we call it? Ultimate Rhinestone Applicator Kit. So this is the kit, and it really was, I went through all the stuff that's in it. So if you want to check that out, I'll do it brief. I won't be using this tool today. Now, yours won't come with this. This is my socket that I need from American Power that looks like this, and our Australian Power that looks like this. So these are our prongs we have in Australia. We have 3, and they're a different shape. So I had to go to my hardware electrical store and buy that to be able to plug this in. But it does work on our Power. So if you are in Australia and you're on my page watching, because I'm cross-posting this to my page also, you can get this and still use it in Australia. So using that. And Totally Dazzled does ship to Australia. Essential Stencil currently doesn't ship internationally. So if there's anyone in Australia and you do want to use Totally Dazzled product, please use my link that I've got there for you. So it does come with 4 lots of rhinestones. Now these come in different colours and some come in different sizes. There's just a huge range right there. I mean, look at them all. There's just so many. It comes with the tool, which is an applicator tool, and I showed you how to use this on last week's live. A little brush cleaner, tweezers to pick them up. This little thing that helps you not get your surface hot because it's a little stand. That's what we will call it. These little things are the ends, which you put over the top of the tool. It's got some sorting trays, which are so handy because you literally shake it and it flips them all up the right way so that you can use your tool to pick them out. And then it's got this shape that if there's any left over, you just pour it straight back into the container. So that's beautiful. Tweezers to pick them up with, or there's a rhinestone picker pen, which has got a wax tip on it. So that is amazing. I used that last week. It just picks up the rhinestones out of your little tray and, puts them straight onto your project so that you can glue them on and use the applicator tool to do that. Now, for some things, and it says in the instructions here quite clearly, the last thing we have is the B7000 glue, and that's what I'll be using to put my key on. There's some material and applications. The application method is in the instructions, real clear instructions on that, on how to use it. So I would use this tool for paper, cardstock, and fabrics, but more likely to use the Gem-Tac or the B7000, E6000 or similar type of glue on glass, metal, plastic, wood, rubber and rock. So there's a little chart there to give you a guide. You could also use a glue gun for those as well, hot glue gun. So I'm just going to pop this aside, but I will be using, I don't know if I'll need something else to hold it with, but so all I'm going to do is use this, and I could use a hot glue gun for this one too, but I've never used this in Australia before, and I used it last week for the first time. I loved it. It stuck very quickly, and I'm still not sure though if I got it stuck to my fingers, if it would stick like super glue. But anyway, maybe you can tell me. Yes, Kim, that's a great idea. Get it now while it's 25% off. It's a really good idea. So you will, if you use my link that's right there in the description of the live to get that kit, use the code TDES25 to get you 25% off. I would appreciate it. There you go. So this has this little pokey thing in there which helps to not, fill up the neck of it with glue each time. So I could put a little bit down this. Oops, I think it's got a bit of glue stuck around it. Get that off. I'm just going to put most of it on this heart at the end. Most of the glue there. And maybe a little bit down there. I'm sure hoping it doesn't stick to my fingers. I have these nightmares of having super glued fingers together or something. But look how quickly it will adhere. Oh look, you can't even see my heart. It's the exact same size as the stencil. So it was probably not a point in doing that. But anyway, at least it gave me a spot to stick it to. And then, this is the trick, is trying to get this little poker thing back down the glue pipe. Okay, got it. Okay, so just have to hold that tight. Sandy says I use, what was it called? Oh, I missed that comment, Quick Tight Bond. Yeah, there's lots of comments now on using Tight Bond, Quick, B7000, you haven't heard of it. Oh, Kim, you got the mystery bundle. That's amazing. That's awesome. Yeah, I think that's with Totally Dazzled. They have a mystery bundle if you look up that as well. So there it is. Isn't that just gorgeous? Home is wherever Mum is, and there's a little heart with a key on it. All right, let's have a look at our next project here, and it is this box that I found in a, I'm going to do a patriotic themed stencil here. So let's have a look at this. This is a box that I found just at a dollar store. I've got my brush in there that I was using to do the other side. Now what I did was this dry brush across here. So you'll see that's the plain, what it came like. And I will do what I've done on this side using that same casement white. Bronwyn, you got your TD order in. You just need to create something with it. You do, Bronwyn. I want to see your challenge piece. Look, you've got to be in it to win it. There's a huge shopping spree prizes. But if you don't get your project posted, you won't be able to win the prize. So there's that. Okay, so on this brush, I've just got a little bit of that casement white. And I could offload it a bit. I may need to do that. But what I'm doing is just creating a bit of a dry brush look in the background here to give it more of a white background, because I want to do some red and white stripes on here, sort of flag-esque, flag-ish look. So I don't know if you can see that really coming through, but I'm just simply putting a little bit of pressure on the bottom, and you can see that that is dry brush to kind of give it a worn, weathered look, I suppose, a driftwood sort of look. And I just offload the brush a little bit on my cardstock. Might have to stand up to do this to look it over so you can see it too. Okay, and again, putting a bit more pressure if I see I need more on this edges here. It kind of is filling it in a lot more. And you can also come down on those edges as well. I like to make them a bit more dry brushed. I feel like I need a bit more on the top, don't I? Looks a little bit heavy on the bottom. A bit more pressure. You can always add more, but you can't really take it off very easily. So that's why I always start with less. How's that looking? There you go. So we've got sort of a dry brushy look. I've done some on that side, and I'll just add it to this side here. So you can see the grain of the wood showing through nicely when you do that. I do like this look. Just gives us a nice light background to work with for our stripes. Okay, so I'll put the lid on the white, put that aside for a minute. And we want to use some red, so I'm using Fusion's Fort York red, and we'll just work on one side and add a bit of stripiness. Now I'll use a stencil brush to do that, and just pop the brush, my white brush, in a plastic bag. You can use some kind of cling wrap. The Klingon brush is what I was using, Christina. So I've got an Amazon link for that. I can go back to your comment after and post that in there. It's in one of my things in my supply list on my Amazon store. So, okay, the stencil set I'm using for this is this one, and it is the large stars and stripes. If you just use my link that is in the description here for the Essential Stencil shop, and then you can use your code TDES25 to put that in at the checkout. But this has two stencils in it, the stripes and the stars, and it's not going to fit totally on the box, but it'll kind of give that feeling of stars and stripes, a little bit of a stars and stripes vibe. Oop. Now your Essential Stencils will always come with a brochure of instructions that you can use. So we've got, this is for a large wooden tag door hanger that Essential Stencil used to stock. I'm not sure, I think they're all out of stock as well. So we use the stripes for just the side here. I'm going to see if I can do this way so that you can see. Maybe that's the good view to do. Using some Fort York red, which is a bright red. Susan, you're asking where the box came from. It just came from a dollar store, and it came in a set of 3 different size boxes all stacked inside each other. And I didn't bring my measuring tape to measure it, but the stencil here, to give you a bit of an idea, you just have to find something in a similar size. It's a 16 by 7 inch stencil set, so you know it's probably like 12 inches or something, the box. And I'm going to let these 2 stripes hang over the side, so I've got that little edge there. So we'll have, oh hang on, I could do 3 stripes. Oh, yeah, so this is the decisions we have to make. Do we want 3 stripes or do we want... Now this is the trick also, is to make these stripes stay still. Didn't think this through as I'm stenciling. And I may have to just do that while I do this one and then move the tape over a little bit and just try and keep a firm hand on that. So I'm using this paint here, and I will use, so our large brushes are 7/8 inch, and that's kind of more the rounded edge. I've got another one here. So this one, it got stained with the black paint that I used last time. So when I use dark color, when I do dark stencil colors, I use this one. When I use the light colors, I use the other one. So we've got our offloading cardboard again. Trying to do this in view where you can see. There's a great big dollop of red on the end, but I want to offload most of that back into the pot so that it doesn't get too much all over the board. And I'm going to offload that here and also work it into the bristles. Now I don't feel like I've got very much on there. And the red is a highly pigmented colour. I don't want this to be a true solid look. I want it to go for a little bit of that rustic look. So I'm just going to add a bit more paint there, and then this time offload it onto here. When you've got bigger gaps to fill here with stencils, you can afford to have just a little bit more on your brush. But what I don't want to do is swirl it either side, because I don't want this shifting and moving around. So see how I'm holding this with my fingers here, and we're just going to do 1 stripe at a time. And even off on those edges there, I don't want to have a solid finish, so I haven't taped it there. It's sort of like a feathered edge. If I just do that, it'll create a bit of a feathered edge. And I'm just adding a little bit more. It'll be a rustic kind of feel. Okay, this is tricky. Coming down this way and allowing that to just taper off at the end there. And just going over it. If you want it a little bit more solid, you can just go over it again. Offloading until you get the depth or the feel that you'd like. Okay, so we're going to take this tape off here and move it over to this side. And I'll just hold that steady. Okay, adding a bit more red again. Linda, you wish you could find a nice box like that in your Dollar Tree. They'll be around. It might not be Dollar Tree, it could be Michael's or, you know, another craft store or, I don't know. I wished I lived in America to have all the craft stores that you guys have. We've got like one, one main one that we can get stuff off. But we do have Amazon that we can get shipments to, so. Yeah, Bronwyn, Liberty Blue and Fort York Red are your favourite Patriotic colours in the Fusion range. Yeah, the Liberty Blue is really good. I was out of that colour today, so I'm not sure what I'm going to use. I'm not even sure how I'm going to do my stars, actually. It's not going to be an actual flag. It's just going to kind of sort of have a flag feel. And then we're going to add some words. I'm going to use the this stencil set here, America the Beautiful, is this next set that I'll be using the words Let Freedom Ring on top of this. So we've got this happening a little bit rustic-like. So good with that. And now I will add this. I feel like I've just painted there, so I'm hoping it doesn't lift off the paint. I might be good with just being able to hold this steady. Trusting myself. All right, so I've got to hold this super tight because it's about to fall off the edge there. There we go. Yeah, Linda says you'd like to visit Australia and see what our stores are like. Yeah, there's differences that you'll probably notice, but a lot of similarities too, I think. Oh, a little bit of a stripe up there at the end. I feel like I would work better if I turned this around to get on this end. Sometimes you just got to turn your project around to, because I feel like I'm better coming from this angle rather than trying to finish it off at this on this side. Hold that on. Holding on. Oh, this one's a little bit more solid. Sometimes I don't dry brush offload the brush as much as I probably should. Okay, so let's see how that turned out. Maggie, wish you had a Fusion Mineral Place around your way. They do ship it, and that's why I've got my affiliate link there that you can use. So see how when we did that whitewash in the background, it gave a nice white background to be able to do those stripes? Doesn't that look cool? I can imagine that would look great going all the way around. I may do that yet, or I may just leave it like this. So, putting the lid on that one, I'm going to think about what bling I'm going to put onto that. Don't let me forget to put my bling on. Okay, I do want to do some stripes, but I'm not sure whether I should do, stars. So the stars is the other part to this stencil set, and I don't know whether to do them white or blue because I do kind of want some blue on there, but I know stars are white and background is blue, so I don't know. Maybe just do white stars. I'm upside down. Should it be this side? I'm thinking of just a few stars like this, and then I can add this star over in there as well. I could even have stars sort of going off the edge. If I hold that up there, that's the right way for a flag, isn't it? To have the stars up on this side. Looking for comments to go, no, that's the wrong way. Joyce says I can do blue stars. What do you think I should do, white or blue? I could even do like a bluish, dry brushy sort of background in that area. I could try that. Need to put this in some plastic so that it doesn't dry out. Oh, someone's saying blue. Blue stars or blue background? Guys, what should I do? Maybe I'll just do blue stars. I'm going to do some blue stars. Hey, I'm in Australia. No one over here is going to know. All right, so this sort of comes off the edge. So what I might do is, oh, look at that. I do have a second one, so I'm going to grab this second one. I was going to make this into some sort of like a Mother's Day box, this other one. And I'll lay that down here so that it gives something for this stencil to hang on to, and then it won't bend and lift up this. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and do blue. What colour blue though? Let's see. I've just got the midnight blue. It will still look blue if I do it this rustic colour. So this is dark, dark midnight blue, but I think it still will look great. And I will use the 3/4 inch brush from the stencil brush set. If you are new here, your hubby will know, Janet says, because he's American, if you are new here. My husband is from America. Well, he's born there, but he's very Australian now. Like, he's lived over here way longer than he has in the USA. But yes. It is a navy, dark navy blue, very dark. So, but I've offloaded that, so I'll do this up here so you can kind of see. I've offloaded the paint, and I'm just going to have to hold that, although I could try and use a little bit of tape to help me. Okay, we're doing blue stars, and I'm just going to kind of do them a little bit rustic. I might even just leave that center part faded for this look, dipping it in the paint, offloading it onto some cardboard, and then here's this star here. I don't want to go too hard, but I want to get those edges fairly sharp looking. I'll go back over this one with that leftover paint on my brush, coming on the outside here, and sort of just leaving that center a little bit like a shadow of a star. All right, let's see. That's looking great, guys. I'm happy with that. What do you think? I feel like I want to add another star or two, so maybe I'll just add this little guy down here somewhere. Oh, maybe a little one. I feel like we need an odd number. 3's good. Actually, I don't know. Sometimes you put it on and then you regret how many you've put on. It needs to be the right spacing. No, you know what? I'm just going to leave it at 3 because I am using, remember, I'm putting my stencil on here as well. So I've got my words to fit in here. So I can't do everything. I can't make it all the look. But you could make it so that we've got this side with stars and stripes and then this side with more words. So, you know, you could do so many different things. But let's have a look at our stencil Let Freedom Ring, and this is from this set which is called America the Beautiful, and you've got literally 3 signs in there that are great long signs. Welcome with the stars at the top, and then you've got this Let Freedom Ring. Now obviously that doesn't fit across my box, but you know me, we always try some different fun things. So I might do this in that white that I was using earlier. So I will get that out of the wet cloth and grab my white again. This is Casement by Fusion, and you can use any acrylic based paint. Any water based paint is great for stenciling. Just make sure they're sort of good, they're good quality, that they're not going to be too runny because they will sort of bleed under your stencils a bit more. I like Fusion because it's a bit more thick. It's actually a furniture paint, so that's what I love to do. If you follow my blog, irestorestuff.com, you'll see that I love to paint furniture and home decor and upcycle. So way too much on my brush that time. So going to just offload this again. So I'll just do this down here to get my brush ready. But what I want to do with the words is I want to, the white should stand out because it's going to be more solid. I want to do let up here with on top of the star, and then put freedom like this, and then ring down here. So I want to start with the 2 outside words. If you're doing something like this and you're not quite sure where is that freedom going to sit, then I would start with doing your word up here, your word down here, and then just kind of make that work. So let's give it a go. It's going to sort of just curve around the corner there, possibly. So just being careful not to accidentally get that for now. And we want a nice solid white coming through over our stripes. And if I need more, I can just add more to the brush. Oops, I'm just not even thinking about you guys. There we go. Can you see better now? I was thinking, oh, I've got to always check to make sure I'm not going off camera so that you can still see what I'm doing. I need to add a little more. Getting to the bottom of my jar here, so it's always tricky to know how far I'm dipping the paintbrush bristles in. Offloading. Okay, got enough on the brush. And if it's, if you feel like you need more paint, or if this turns out that, on that white, it's not standing out as much and I need to add a different colour, then I can always come back and do that. Well, this is a little bit tricky trying to do this over the edge here, so just going to carefully slightly move it around the corner. Okay, let's see how that stood out. Yeah, I think it's going to look great. It'll work. So we've got the ring on there, and move this up here. This is just a reminder not to go too far. This is going to go straight over the star, but you will still see the star. Now let me just think about it. If I put that there, will freedom still fit? I think it will. It's going to work. Okay, adding this on the star, and it is going to go just over that edge a bit. A bit more straight. There we go. Okay, are we in the shot? There we go. I've still got a bit on my brush, but I need more. Oh, my sign says 25% off. Oh no, I've got 25% off code. I've got till May 8th on my sign. My sign says arrow till May 8th is the, not the code, is the entry for the challenge. So you've got until May the 8th to enter the challenge. But Essential Stencil said there's 5 days left, so that's a different date, until you can use the discount code, 25% off. Sorry if that confused anybody, but May 8th is the last day of the challenge, I believe. Hope I got that right. Okay, last little bit to do this, which is kind of curving on the edge there. Just pushing it down with my brush and doing a bit of a wriggle motion, hoping that it's solid enough. You can still see a little bit of the star there underneath, but if I do need any more, I can always add more later. So we've got let, probably stands out enough, I think. I do like that background with the, it's not completely solid, it's just kind of dry brushed in there. And then we've got the word freedom. So I will move my little tape over to there. And then I'll use this tape to remind me, don't get the next word. All right, so we're sort of looking at around about here for the word freedom to be able to fit and work and be sort of centered. Ta-da! It's going to work. And I'll just add this tape to keep it still. Maybe we'll add another. I'm trying to be careful not to put the tape down too hard because we don't want it to lift off the paint that I've just painted on. Because we are using this dry brush method, it does dry very quickly. Okay, I'm just offloading on this cardboard down here. And here we go. Away we go. Freedom. Let freedom ring. I've got to decide what Totally Dazzled bling I can add to my box here. I'm just going to see if one of those star shapes might fit the star shape that I've used here. We'll see. Yeah, I love the box too. What would you put in a box like this? I guess you could use it for a 4th of July barbecue and put your barbecue things in it and make it a table centerpiece if you wanted to. You could hold your utensils or you know, your condiments, something on the barbecue table. All kinds of things you could use it for, or just a sideboard decor with a bunch of flowers in it, or plants, that kind of thing. I think that's pretty solid white, although as I said before, if you wanted to go over it again, let that dry and then just give it a second coat of the white paint to make it sort of stand out even more. But I think that is looking great. Oop, look at this. I like how that's turning out. Let freedom ring. Let freedom bling. There we go. I think that's actually what Totally Dazzled has called their Patriotic collection. The packet says Patriotic, but I think on the website, don't they? They have something like Let Freedom Bling. I think that's very clever. Lots of fun. So there's so much you can do with all of the stencils, all of the Totally Dazzled products. Let's have a look at what we've got here. So in our Dazzle set, missing one that I added. If you watch my, hang on, I'll put that there. If you look at my I Restore Stuff stories, I think it was, or a reel on Instagram. I don't know if it came through as a reel on Facebook, but my daughter has a denim jacket that we added to, and I said, would you like to use some of the American, you know, bling from Totally Dazzled? So she chose two. I think she chose the cross and then one of the others. I can't remember which one she put on. Maybe the heart. I don't know. Maybe the eagle. Anyway, it's on the reel. So yeah, she chose one of them, and I've got a couple of sets here. It also comes in the silver with a silver background. I don't know if there's other colours, but this is the antique bronze. This one, I really like this one. Anyway, so if you want to see that reel, you'll see that I added to it. So she's got all sorts of things on her jacket that are like, you know, random things to do with life. She's even got an old work logo that she cut out of her old work t-shirt. Her high school job she had at Kmart, and she cut out the logo from her Kmart t-shirt and sewed it to a denim jacket. So she's got all sorts of fun things on there. Let's see what will sort of fit with our thing. Now we've got a little sort of space here or a space here. I don't want to do too much up here because we've got the stars, which could make it a little busy. What do we think? What it says, use the flag. Yeah, I like the flag too. There was a flag here. I do like the flag that's got the Statue of Liberty on that, because that kind of speaks to me about like freedom ring. I don't know, what about you? It's got a flag, it's got a heart. See how it looks when we put it on there. Pamela says, can't wait for the bling. Yeah, the star, I was going to say, oh yeah, it's a little too big for that star, but I was thinking that'd be fun if it was the same size as that star there. It's a bit larger than that star. Oh, there's also there's flags on pretty much everything. But this flag, I feel like it's a little big. I feel like I need something a little, oops, sorry, you can't see. I feel like it's a little bit big. May need something a bit smaller. I will try this, if I can get it open. And don't go anywhere, guys, because we have got prizes at the end of our lives. So, Sandy, you don't think you had a cross in your Patriotic set? I have to go back and check it. Yeah, it's a cute little wooden cross. I like that too, because that speaks of freedom that we have if you're a Christian too. There we go. That would look cute up there. But I like this. Let's see. We could do it there, and then we could also add something here. can also add a bit of bling to ring. Let me see if I can see. So at the bottom here or up here, what do you think? Maybe the top might be seen better. Yeah, the cross is nice. And there's God Bless America, but because we've got wording on there, Let Freedom Ring, and I didn't want to put lettering on there. It's also the eagle. You could do so much to this. You could also add, and with my rhinestones that I've got in there, we could also add bling around it outside here. So I may do that later. But yeah, I think we'll stick it there. Oh, there's a couple of people saying put it on the bottom. Do you think? In the center. And then I could add something else up here, I guess. In the bottom, in the center. Someone says top. 2 people saying top, guys. Now, I feel like it's more balanced if we've got things at the top here and here. But really, you honestly could put it in both places, couldn't you? Let me just move this aside. Don't forget to use your code TDES25 to save 25% using the links that are right here in the live description. That would be amazing. I'm just going to add these, and then I'll show you if you have just joined me a little bit later, you'll be able to see the Mother's Day sign that I've made. It's hiding down here. So I could use a hot glue gun for this, or I could use this stuff that comes in your rhinestone kit, Totally Dazzled rhinestone applicator tool and kit. So adding that, trying to find out, whoa, don't want it crooked. We've got a few seconds to put it in the right place. I will add this back again. I'm going to hold that for a few seconds. And then we are going to get ready to pick winners for our live today. So let me see if I can. Don't forget, I'll pop this on the screen behind me again. The Totally Dazzled and Essential Stencil challenge, crafting challenge. You've got until May the 8th to enter. There we go. See, it's all stuck on there beautifully. We've got our Let Freedom Ring, cute little box you could use for your 4th of July barbecue or whatever you like. And then we made also, at the beginning of our life, we've got a little pearlescent shimmery background here for home is wherever mom is, and a gorgeous Dazzled key. That's the rose gold from the Rose Gold Key collection. So that is what we made earlier. Let's take a look. Our winners are, just got to click the screen so I can see you all. Congratulations to our winners, Jennifer, Kay, and Christina. You need to email support@essentialstencil.com. Let them know that you're a winner on Sharon's Live today. And I will go through and look at your comments and see if there's any questions there or if anyone needed anything. So thank you guys so much for watching today, and I'll see you again next week. All the best in the challenge. Bye.